And I send out a message to 70 people, and I choose the wrong template, and I say, that's amazing, we invite you to the next stage.
Oh my God.
Big failure. And I go to the recruiter, I'm like, oh my God, I messed it up. We source out the most creative things to AI, and then we do all of the boring stuff ourselves. One question that actually paralyzes recruiters, because I would say, hey, so based on our conversation today, which was typically 30 minutes, do you see me as part of your team?
If tomorrow no one cared about CVs, job titles, LinkedIn followers, public speaking, whatever it may be, how would you define success for yourself?
Have you ever seen somewhere in a newsletter, in an email, in a LinkedIn post, anything digital online saying that this content was created with the help of AI or it was written by AI?
No.
Exactly. And this is the breach of AI Act.
How they approach companies, and what do companies still get wrong about candidates?
How much time do we have? Okay, so I think that one thing that everyone gets wrong is that we need to prepare like crazy for the interview.
We is who? Candidates?
Both candidates.
Oh, both and
yeah,
companies.
Both.
All right.
All CVs sound the same because people are using ChatGPT.
Right.
I think I've read one letter in my life about, that came together with the...
You mean like a motivational letter?
Motivation letter, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Once in my life.
Really?
Once. Do we really need CV?
Okay.
Everyone has LinkedIn. We don't need a CV to begin with.
Welcome to Beyond the Resume. I'm Yohanan Shamailov. In this show, we'll go past job titles and polished profiles to talk about the real experience, lessons, and ideas that shape how people work and grow. Today's guest is Dov Zavadskis, a former talent sourcer who turned his curiosity for people into a mission to help others navigate their careers with the help of AI. He's also founder of Befriend AI, a platform that helps individuals and teams use artificial intelligence to become more intentional, creative, and effective at what they do. So, hi, Dovas, and thank you for being on Beyond the Resume today with me. It's not a sunny day today, and unfortunately we couldn't take a walk down Vilnius to continue the tradition of walking outside and talking. The first topic that I want to discuss with you is about your self-discovery and how sourcing played a huge role in your life, and let us take a journey through sourcing and what you're doing right now.
Wow, so we're basically going back 12
Yes, we're
years.
taking a step back, yes.
Well, first of all, it's really good to be here, and yeah, it would be a very optimistic to find some sun during this time of the year, but unfortunately. So sourcing came into my life 12 years ago, and I joined one really big American company in Lithuania, and there were two of us, me and my colleague, who were like, we were joking, we were like lab rats globally, given this experiment, say, hey, let's see what sourcing is, and let's see if we can do something about it. So for those who don't know what sourcing is, it's basically talent attraction.
Okay.
So we were part of the talent acquisition team, and we were like headhunters looking for people inside, like in-house for the business. So it's not agency, because normally it's more common for an agency environment, but more and more in-house companies, in-house teams have a sourcer, talent scouts, researcher, attraction specialist, like there are different titles to that. Okay. But during that first year, we didn't really have much budgets, tools, we didn't even have proper internet browsers to do more magic. But then a few years later, when I was already living in the UK, and when I was looking for a job in London, I was hired for an agency, which is irony. I went from in-house to agency, and we were focused on finding recruiters and sourcers for our really big brands like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Rackspace, World Remit, like big decent names. And we were 2.5 people in the business. So I just earlier this week I was sharing the story of the manager who hired me as my mentor, who was trying to inspire me to become like him, speaking at events and writing blog posts and so on and so on. And it took me at least 3 years to reach somewhere that.
Right.
So yeah.
Cool. And if to break down in simple words to our audience, what does a sourcer do, and how is that different from, let's say, a recruitment team in-house in a company?
So it really, first of all, it really depends on the setup of the team, because now these days even recruiters are sourcing, so they need to have that capability of just like being creative at finding people who are not applying for a job.
Right.
So passive candidates. And I think when you have a dedicated sourcer, the difference is that recruiters are still more focused on all of the incoming traffic. Okay. So all the CVs, you know, they manage the process, the cycle, the hiring manager, all the candidates, the offers, everything, right? With the certain number of roles that they work on. Now, sourcer is someone who needs to know the market. They need to know what's going on. Who's hiring, who's firing, what are the salaries, what are the titles, where do people that we need hang out, any events, communities, I don't know, blocks, you know, like where are those people, right? And when you have a very busy recruiter, they don't have time for that.
Right.
So I can give you an example. When I was on a mission to find very specific niche talents across Europe, I started reaching out to a lot of people. And when I started talking to them, I said, hey, so do you have any community? And they're like, yeah, we have a Slack group. I was like, tell me more. And it's like, no, let me just invite you into the community.
The group,
So just like that, I had access to 7,000 professionals globally.
Right.
I was like, okay, you know, so a recruiter would not be bothered because they don't have time.
Okay.
So the difference, I believe, is that when recruiters are going to source, they typically go to LinkedIn. They enter a few keywords, so like the more like a Boolean string that kind of limits, you know, the results. Filters out the results, and what they do, they look at first few pages, and you know, in the recruitment industry, that's what you call low-hanging fruits. Because these are the profiles that LinkedIn's algorithm thinks that they match your criteria. But some of the best people that I've spoken to, they have empty profiles on LinkedIn, so you would never find them because they don't have that information that you need.
Right.
So you would be guessing a lot about a person's profile because, okay, I know the company, I know that I spoke to several people in the team. Okay, so the team is maybe 5 people. And then potentially if they have that person, you know, I know that maybe they're using this or this, you know, skill set and so on.
Is a sourcer essentially an in-house headhunter?
I would say so. I think that's the most simplistic way of putting it. That's in-house agency.
In-house agency.
Yeah, because we go to agency in the moments when we cannot do the job ourselves.
Right.
When we don't have capacity, when we don't have the time. An in-house sourcer could be someone who actually does the job faster, better, because they should have focus specifically on fewer roles. Right. But maybe the roles that are very, very difficult to find. I don't think I've ever worked on a very easy to find role in my life.
Hiring is a two-way street. That's something that you have said multiple times before, and I've listened to some of your talks. When you say hiring should always go both ways, what do most candidates still misunderstand about how they approach companies, and what do companies still get wrong about candidates?
How much time do we have? Okay, so I think that one thing that everyone gets wrong is that we need to prepare like crazy for the interview.
We is who? Candidates.
Both candidates.
Oh, both and companies.
Both.
All right.
The challenge is that I rarely see recruiters prepare for the interviews. They sometimes even read the CV on the spot, which is not professional. Yet we are asking candidates to spend a lot of time in the preparation. Right. They ask questions. Oh, what do you know about us? Like, what do you know about me as a candidate? There's so much information about me online. I guess no recruiter would actually go and check. That's one thing. Another thing is that we are using technology to spam the hell out of everyone. So for example, now a lot of people in the recruitment industry globally are speaking that all CVs sound the same because people are using ChatGPT.
Right.
You know, the letters that people are using, like I think I've read one letter in my life about, you know, that came together with the...
You mean like a motivational letter?
Motivational letter,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Once in my life.
Really?
Once.
Wow.
It depends on the market, or it depends on the type of a job.
Okay.
If you're going into educational sector, that's a must. You need it. But if you go for corporate, it's easier to record a 10-minute video, 5-minute video, show who you are,
Right.
be different. So because using AI without knowing what you're doing and just saying, hey, ChatGPT, just, you know, make my CV sound like what the job description needs.
Yep.
This is not going to work. And also, I think that the big challenge is that when candidates are going into an interview, they're like, oh my God, I hope they like me. Wait a second, will you like the business?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had so many situations where after the first interview, I said, you know, thank you for your time. I don't think it's a match for us.
Okay.
Or actually, I would even use one question that actually paralyzes recruiters, because I would say, hey, so based on our conversation today, which was typically 30 minutes, do you see me as part of your team?
Right.
I'm not saying that I get a job.
No. Just
I'm saying, do I fit? Is there a cultural fit?
right.
And one of the examples was that they said, well, you know, it's early to say because we would need to talk to more people. It's like, you didn't get the question.
No.
Because it's different.
Right.
So I think that let's stop wasting time on where we don't need to. And I think also hiring managers, especially, they need to re-educate themselves on how to handle interviews, especially for passive candidates.
I see. If you would have the freedom to redesign the hiring industry from scratch, you have a blank page, and you, Dov, sit behind a blank page and you have the freedom to redesign it, how would it look like?
You know, okay, so there's one way of thinking here, that right now we take everything that's short or long, we put it into LLM, into large language model of your choice,
right?
To shorten it, summarize it, or to expand it.
Yep.
Right? So how about if we stop wasting everyone's time and we communicate in short bullet points?
Okay.
That's one thing. So then the question is, do we really need CV?
Okay.
Everyone has LinkedIn. We don't need a CV to begin with. We don't need be wasting time, have all of those crazy process of, you know, 7 interviews. These are still happening. I'm sorry, but this is not okay. And unless companies are paying. So if you're asking me to go into 7 interviews and ask me to prepare a lot, that might take 2 days. Pay me for that. If companies would need to pay for that, the processes will be different. But I think that the challenge is that I'm not sure if I have the answer here, because we bring our own biases into the process.
True.
And every company is very uniquely different.
Right.
So as an example, while promoting HR Week, I was invited to talk together with the owner of Norfa, and his discussion at the event was...
Dundulis, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
So we were visiting Delphi Diana.
Okay.
And his take is, we don't need HR. I was like, okay, cool. And you know, then I was challenging and saying, well, but there's biases, and everyone needs to go for the same process.
Sure.
And only HR can actually look into that, because if you know, if I'm the manager and you work in my team and you say, hey, I have a friend who can work here, there might be a lot of biases.
Yep.
I might be desperate, but is it really the right person?
Sure.
It's a very long conversation. But I think that we really need to look at the process to make it, from the perspective of the candidate, the most efficient thing possible.
Right.
And sadly, I don't believe that right now AI systems are helping because they're putting more work onto the candidate's side rather than the recruiter side.
True. I think there is a certain process, and in your previous answers, you were talking about, you know, people are matching their CVs, updating them to be synchronized with a certain job ad. I think that is a smart thing to do. Why? Because today's even some ATS systems have a certain automation that incoming resumes are scanned by keywords, and well, if you want to win in the system, you need to understand the system, right? So putting those exact keywords in your resume, in your updated resume, to go through the door is maybe a smart thing to do. Now, in the long term, as you said, in a ideal world where, for instance, sending a resume to a job ad has become ineffective anymore, then of course we put that on the side. But a general feeling to me personally, I think, and we've been speaking about this when I met you in HR week as well, is that there are so many shifts happening now, especially in the recruitment world. And how will HR look like in 10, 20, 30 years from now? There's so many...
Even 2 years from now, we have no idea.
Exactly. And there's so many layoffs now in different industries, and well, people need to kind of, need to survive. So those people that got laid off, how would they, move on in their life? Do they need to requalify themselves in different industries, in different specialities, and so on and so forth? But let's just maybe continue a bit on that recruitment part. And you always say quality versus quantity. And one of the conversations we had with you is about, you said, I know someone that has sent 100 CVs and has 0 interviews, and I sent 5 CVs and I have 4 interviews, right?
Yeah.
There is a huge trend now of sending, quantity is a thing, right? The more you send, the more probability that any of those recruiters or those companies might call you or send you an email to come and interview with them, right? Do you think that people have lost the art of being intentional when applying? Maybe let's expand on that.
Absolutely. This is my personal journey that I shared as well on some of the events. That there was me and another person looking for a job at the same time. She sent 500 applications. It's extreme, and I've sent 3.
Right.
And in 8 weeks' time, I had 3 job offers, and she still had none. I even changed the job in those 8 weeks,
right?
Because it was a mistake on my side, so accepting a wrong offer.
Right.
And she still was going crazy. She was being hospitalized because she could not cope anymore. I want to suggest to everyone who is applying to a lot of jobs, have a visualization exercise. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and now imagine, okay, what is the number of those applications that you sent out? Let's say 90. Now, what would you do, and what would be the stress level if all 90 companies would say, hey, we would like to invite you for an interview? Now just think about it. Because if that doesn't give you anxiety, maybe that's okay. But I think from like 99% of people, this would drive us crazy.
True.
So then the question is, if you don't think that those companies are going to respond to you, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting their time? And why are you applying to begin with?
Right.
Because every single time when we apply and the CV goes into the ATS, it stays there.
Yep.
It's a record.
Right.
And when you are applying to a big corporate, there's nothing worse when the same person applying to 10 different types of jobs within the same company.
Yeah.
Then I know you have no idea what you want. And no one's going to talk to you inside of the company.
Right.
Because you don't know what you want. Right? So there are certain challenges. I think that what really helps people is having the clarity and understanding, hey, what I don't want first. So when I coach people, I always say, make a list of thank you next. Do you want to work from the office or do you want to work remote? Do you want to commute, 2 days a week, or do you want a full remote? Do you want a startup, governmental, non-NGO? There are different types of things to narrow down your focus, because the crazy thing is that we might think of something that we really want, and we send the message to the universe. I know I'm talking to some people, but I have experience with that. And what happens that universe always delivers, but it always gonna test you first.
Right.
So a simple example would be,
Yes.
I might say, hey, I want to stop eating pizza because maybe I want to lose my weight, right? I'm conscious of myself. I can guarantee that within 24 hours, you're going to be invited to a party or something that's going to be with pizza.
Yeah.
And what happens next? You're going to be like, maybe I'll start that on Monday. And you're just like, yeah, it's not important. So we can skip the whole thing.
So what happens then? Did you just miss the opportunity that came from above?
I believe.
Did you fail the test?
So I believe that before every big decision, every big job, every big opportunity that is meant for us, we will have at least one or two that will be distractions. So if we don't say no to it, and in most cases we don't, because it kind of sounds like what I want, but not
maybe
really.
I should take it, right?
But maybe I'm not worth anything more.
Right, you start doubting yourself.
And you're like, I'm gonna grab whatever I can.
Right.
And and these are the situations that we tend to, when we look back, like, shit.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part. Like, in my personal experience was when I was working here, I had no idea that I'm going to be relocated to the UK with the same business. But 2 months before, I was approached by one of the top employers. They tried to headhunt me on the spot, the same day, and they're like, you need to tell us today.
Right.
And I'm like, you sound cool. I cannot make a decision right now. Let's talk in 2 months. And basically 2 or 3 weeks later, I got offered to relocate.
Right.
And I was like, this is crazy. So it might have seemed like a really good opportunity, but if I did, nothing of what I have right now, especially a sourcing career, would not happen at all. 3
short and valuable tips for our viewers that are now looking for their next challenge, for their next job.
Reach out to your network first. That's where your gold is.
Okay.
Look at your LinkedIn. Look at who you are connected to.
Right.
Write out what you don't want.
Okay.
That's crazy important. And then I would say when you're looking for a job, be very specific and be the one who says no early on. Stop wasting your own time preparing for all of the jobs.
Right.
I know that for some people who have been in the jobs for longer than like 5 years, it's scary to go back into interviewing. Like, oh, I want to get some experience.
Yeah.
That's cute, but that should not last more than one interview.
Right.
If you start the process,
be ready from the get-go.
If you start the process and you spot the red flags early on, say, thank you, we're not a match, but keep the door open because the right opportunity might come later.
Right. Okay. You intrigued me very much in our last conversation when you said, I'm working on a project now called being headhuntable.
Becoming headhuntable.
Becoming headhuntable, right? What does it really mean to become headhuntable? Can you expand on that? And what qualities make someone stand out today? That's what really interests me to hear.
So the idea for this project started 3 years ago when I just came back to Lithuania, and I thought, I'm going to be a career coach. This is what I'm passionate about. I love helping people. I've seen thousands and thousands of LinkedIn profiles and CVs in my career, sometimes even during 1 week. So that was a very natural step. However, then when I got introduced to ChatGPT, I was sidetracked, and now I'm doing what I'm doing. But I started thinking that this is something that I want to continue doing. And I met Simona Bareika, who is one of the really bright speakers, that we keep on recommending one another at different events, and we keep on meeting at HR events. She's a career coach.
Right.
She's a speaker. She trains businesses as well. And we have a lot of synergy with this, because I thought, I have certain experience, but I may not be the career coach that people will, oh, he's a career coach, he can help. But what we decided to do is to bring the career coaching experience that she has, and then bring the headhunting experience that I have, and then sprinkle with some generative AI, and offer people a way of actually looking at certain things from a different perspective, because internet is full of, I believe, wrong tips. What to do with your CV, how to prepare for the process, because then people sound the same. And I think what is the most important thing is your authentic, what is your authentic take in the situation? How can you showcase yourself as being authentic? Because it's not about over preparing and answering all the same answers that everyone else is doing. Can you just tell me what the hell you think? Show me who you are. In those 30 minutes, and challenge people, because we are afraid to ask questions. But you can only get information from the questions that you ask. So becoming headhuntable will be something that we are going to start communicating, I believe, in December, and we're launching that in January. So
is that going to be like a coaching session method, for instance, or is it going to be a digital platform? What is that? What is that?
I think it's gonna
as a product.
I think it's gonna have different shapes. We will start with like master classes and online training for like groups of up to like 20 people. Because also we want to make sure that we can give the quality, to fewer people rather than hundreds, right? So that is important to both of us. But the idea is to help you show yourself online and know how to present yourself, so that other people and other companies can actually find you.
It's a very interesting take that you're saying, because my next question and the next topic is called authenticity versus perfection online. And the funny thing is that I have not shared with you the list of topics before we started talking.
I asked you not to.
No, yes, exactly. Yesterday evening.
I like to be surprised.
You said not to. So it's very nice to see that we are naturally going, flowing into this, because it's very important today, also from my perspective, that those LinkedIn profiles are so much alike, and I'm starting to see that my LinkedIn profile, for instance, is also very much alike, like many others. The more you post, the more you comment on LinkedIn to other people's posts, the more LinkedIn understands that you are an active member, and all these algorithms, but it's like, it's a race to something. The question is, to what, And here it's more of a philosophical question, I mean, being headhuntable and becoming headhuntable, as you said, your true experience can bring a very unique value, for instance, for someone to becoming headhuntable. But for the general world, is LinkedIn still still going to be used in 5 years from now? Is that going to be the pinnacle of work-related social media, or is there going to be a different player on the market that will crack the code of what is actually needed for the professional world to be online, not on Facebook, not on Instagram or any other social media?
I'm very careful with predictions, because sometimes I share my opinion when I have more like a gut feeling about it. When it comes to LinkedIn, there were these announcements, I think in the last month or so, that OpenAI is launching their own platform. And some people started saying, oh my God, that's the end of LinkedIn. We need to notice that all the social influencers, the first thing that they say whenever something shows up is like, it's the end of something. Atlas right now, ChatGPT Atlas is like the end of Google Chrome.
The browser.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. DeepSeek was the end of everything. It's not. Like, you know, these are just the stages. So I think that when it comes to LinkedIn, we need to understand one thing, that now this has become like in a way monopoly in a lot of countries, and it's the easiest way for companies to find people. That's the easiest.
Okay.
There are of course people who don't want to be found, so they do everything they can not to be found, especially technical people.
Yep.
So they change the make typos in their titles,
yep.
you know, so they would not be found.
Yeah.
And so on. I think the reality is that it all depends on the type of the job and type of the company. Because LinkedIn is expensive.
It is.
LinkedIn license, recruiter license that companies are using is expensive.
Yes.
If company has the ability to post their jobs, all of the jobs on LinkedIn, they have big budgets.
Yes.
However, if you are going for more like a smaller business, small startup, they will not do that. So they might be posting that somewhere else.
Yep.
So I think it's also really important just to separate those things. Now, LinkedIn overall, I think, is a good place to be, and it has a really incredible reach. You don't know who sees your content. I go to conferences and events, and people are like, oh my God, like, I follow you, and it's like, amazing, like,
yeah, cool.
I don't know
do we know each
are.
other? Yeah.
I don't, but the cool part is that, and I think this is where the authenticity comes, that, you know, my business, what I do right now, is all down to, you know, when you work for yourself, I'm responsible for the results that I bring in.
Yeah.
So I could be like, oh my God, I need to post 2 times a day because I need to be visible.
Right.
If you go onto LinkedIn and if you check my history, I believe that in the last 3 weeks I've posted once, maybe twice.
Right.
I'm not talking resharing someone else's content,
but
my
like
own content.
writing a fresh post.
I have a lot of ideas. I had a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
I didn't had the time, or I didn't want to post.
Right.
Do I feel guilty about it? No, I didn't feel like it. So, and I think I would rather go with this because this is more authentic of me.
Yes.
Of I don't want to post.
Right.
Rather than going on a crazy schedule and then like I have to post because I don't want to burn out the creative side.
Right.
Because like yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about AI, as we always do, and she pointed a really good idea that we source out the most creative things to AI, and then we do all of the boring stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, this is so true.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn is the same.
Right.
Just take it easy. And you know, if you have never posted on LinkedIn, post even once a month. That's enough.
Yeah.
Like people will start seeing you. So don't go crazy. Don't go crazy.
I see. And would you say that vulnerability can become a career advantage in the age of AI and automation?
I think it depends. In my case, that's something that built my career.
Okay.
Because when I shared the biggest failure of my career, which was that contract of 6 weeks that I took, and then it was my first permanent job in 10 years. It ended in 6 weeks.
Right.
So, and you know, and for me, it was a big moment of going back into the community, and community basically helped me.
Yep.
And then, 4 or 5 months later, I shared the story on my mentor's podcast. And little did I know that this is going to be the trigger that's going to allow me to step into the speaking role at the events.
Sure.
And as of 2019, I started speaking and sharing.
Yeah.
And I believe that talking about failure, it's much more important than talking about how you succeeded.
Agree.
This is how we learn. This is how we are, you know what? Yeah, I messed it up. So what? We have in Lithuania, we have fail nights, event series. I recommend it to everyone. Okay. Because have you not heard about it? So the host, Simona, she basically every single time at the event you have 5 guests. Okay. And everyone has up to 20 minutes, and you have 10 photos or slides which you're showing. Okay. You choose whatever that is, and you tell the story. and it's a live event. And so people go there to share their biggest failures from career-wise. I had an opportunity to do that, and I was sharing how I was trying to build a musical in Lithuania in 2011, 2012 as an example. Nuts, right? But I can give you one example. There is a company called Baldai Vienas, Baldai One, and the founder of the company was saying how the name came. It's like, it was just like on my folder on my computer. I had to register the name. It was there. I just went with it, like, why didn't I think longer? Or, you know, when they go at the same time into two different territories and they see which one is going to fail first. And I'm like, that must be expensive. But you learn from those different ways of thinking more than you just do, oh my God, look at me, I'm amazing. No one is amazing. Everyone has shit days, and we need to talk more about that.
Yeah, everyone comes with failures, because I think through failures you become something, you know. And having a spotless career is not something that is true, you know, behind.
And also, you know, and I think it's really important to own your mistakes. I want to give quick examples. So I was working in Western Union in the UK, and I was a recruitment coordinator. And I had to send an email saying, I'm really sorry, thank you for application, we didn't choose you, you know, the typical thingy. For HR generalist position. And I sent out a message to 70 people, and I choose the wrong template, and I say, that's amazing, we invite you to the next stage.
Oh my God.
Big failure. And I go to the recruiter, I'm like, oh my God, I messed it up. She's like, okay, let's send out another email. Okay, everything would be good, but there was one person who was not happy about that. So it was escalated to their directors.
Oh wow.
And then our manager is like, okay, guys, something happened. Everyone in the meeting room, we need to understand what the hell happened. And I'm like, hey, this is what I've done. This is my mistake.
I messed up.
And then the craziest thing happened, because that never happened to me in Lithuania, even to date. My recruiter said, no, that's my mistake. He was helping me. You know, this is how I suggested to solve the situation. That's my fault. I was like, okay. And then our manager, he's like, no, that's my team, that's my mistake. I was like, guys, that was my mistake. You know, and then the director, she said, got it, so do we have a solution? And I was like, yeah, we already fixed it. There's no possibility in the system to choose a wrong template anymore.
I see.
So it's not going to happen again.
Oh, so you actually fixed the system for this not to happen again.
For this not to happen again.
I see.
But I was blown away that two other people, they were wanting to take my blame when it was just my mistake. And typically we're like, oh, this is his fault. No, like, own your mistake. And because magic might happen out of it, and you will never know.
But what have you learned from it? I mean, look, if this would have happened not in the UK company, you know, Lithuanian company, any other company, where you come clean about a mistake that you made and people do not take accountability for it. I mean, your managers do not take accountability for it because they think this is the right thing to do. You made a mistake, you answer about it. How did this different situation help you understand something, and what did you understand from it?
I think that, you know, the work experience in the UK in general taught me a lot of different things, because it's a different world from the way they approach work. But I think here, of course, first of all, I needed to make sure that the system is set up in the right way so we don't make major mistakes. Because my role was more analytical also, and also to be a little bit more careful. But mistakes happen. It does happen. Just what do we do after it happens?
How do we treat them? Okay. So let's talk a bit about Befriend AI, about what you're doing on, well, basically a daily basis, right? And you've been busy the past few weeks. It was really hard to get through you, but you read my message and you answered quickly, and yeah, well, here we are.
Lucky you that I answered quickly, because sometimes I just go into my cave and it doesn't happen. So yeah.
You've warned that if we don't understand AI, we should be careful with it. What's the real risk of using tools we don't fully grasp?
Yeah, so before we continue, I just want to separate that when I talk about AI, I talk about generative AI.
Generative
So this
AI,
is
okay.
everything that is related to LLMs, large language models. So
Yes.
ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, and so on, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that when people come to me and they're like, oh my God, so is it secure to use AI? Like, my first question is, how do we use it?
Okay.
Because do you have one password for everything, right? And you're like, what? It's not related. I was like, it's related, because it's a very individual journey of how you can make sure that what you're doing is actually more bulletproof, or actually there's more risk to it. Because if you have email systems, Facebook, Instagram, all those big American corporations.
Right.
So if that's the case, you would not, like, if you're hacked, you're hacked.
Right.
Everything can be hacked these days. But if we are, looking from the work perspective, because there's two different worlds. What you do at home, it's completely up to you. But if you are taking any of those personal tools that you use in your everyday life and you use it for work, this is where it's a bit of a danger zone.
Why?
First of all, data.
Okay.
Typically, if you're using a free plan of most of the LLMs, they are training the data.
Okay.
Yeah, they're training the model with your data. So that needs to be switched off.
Okay.
First of all, so ChatGPT, super easy settings, data controls, and you switch it off. We don't need to train the models on our data to begin with.
Sure.
Another thing is that we need to remember, and not that many people talk about it, that we have EU AI Act.
Okay.
This is where all the rules and guidelines are of how we should be using what is allowed and what is not allowed.
Right.
And the crazy part is that it's not about the tool that you're using, it's about how you use it. Because there are 4 categories. Like, we have like the prohibited, we have high risk, minimal risk, and I think normal. Like, so something like that.
Okay.
High risk is everything that is related to job search, everything employment related.
It's high risk.
It's high risk.
Okay.
So I cannot upload a CV into a ChatGPT and say, hey, analyze the CV.
But can you do it for your own CV?
For yourself, yeah.
But as a recruiter, you mean as an HR person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, even when I was moderating the AI room at HR Week,
Yep.
I had a challenge because in one of the talks, a person was saying, hey, upload the 20 CVs into your ChatGPT. And I was like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't, no.
You really cannot do that. Because there's one crazy thing, that the candidate doesn't know that you're uploading their CV into ChatGPT.
Yeah, without his consent.
Without his consent. So another thing with AI Act, and you're getting a lot of emails, newsletters, for example, like in general, we all do, right? Have you ever seen somewhere in a newsletter, in an email, in a LinkedIn post, anything digital online, saying that this content was created with the help of AI or it was written by AI?
No.
Exactly. And this is the breach of AI Act.
Okay.
Because you need to communicate if something was created with AI or by AI, we need to include that because you need to be honest about it.
Right.
It's not just like using Grammarly, like to change your words.
Sure.
But if you are actually, creating all newsletter with it, there has to be something about it.
Yeah.
So sometimes on LinkedIn, I'm even being cheeky saying, this post was created by a human. From the other side.
Sure.
So I think that it's more about not going where the trends are going,
Mm-hmm.
DeepSeek is a very good example.
Sure.
When it was released in February, everyone was like, oh my God, it killed ChatGPT.
Yeah.
No, it does not. We need to understand where the tools are coming from,
Mhm.
what data they can access, where the data is stored, what happens to it, can you
Mhm.
remove that data if you want to,
Right.
and do you really need that tool?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have never touched DeepSeek.
Okay.
I don't need to.
Okay.
We have other tools.
Sure.
We don't need to jump just because there's a new player in the market.
Yep.
Just like streaming services, you normally have one,
Yeah.
maybe two,
Yeah.
but you don't need 10,
Streaming
right?
services is a bit of a different story. It's a bit more. It's more a bit. I think politically interconnected. You know, and I have my opinion on that.
Yeah,
But have you heard of Manus AI?
yeah.
Have you tried it?
No,
No. You have no.
no. Because
no
you
opinion
know,
and
because the thing is that and this is my choice when it comes to when I work with businesses, because I
Sure.
typically do training B2B.
yes.
I resent the situation where someone comes into the business and like, hey, these are 50 tools that you should try.
Yeah.
Not happening.
No.
Businesses don't have money for it.
Yep.
You will really create more of a distraction than
Mhm.
there is purpose to it.
Sure.
It's better to understand, and to talk to the business. Hey, what are your capabilities? Do you have any tools? Is there
Yeah.
anything that you're more like,
Right.
going for?
Yeah.
And then see where what can happen with it.
Right.
So I believe that the tools that we have in the market right now as the main tools
Mm-hmm.
are more than enough,
Yep.
because I'm also focusing on the business side of things.
Sure.
So in the business environment, if we look at LLMs, it's mostly ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini,
Yep.
and Claude.
Claude. Yeah.
So even Gemini and Claude are a bit of outsiders.
Yeah. 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 It's mostly
But-
ChatGPT
yeah.
basically, and
So
Copilot.
the Microsoft one, Copilot,
Yes.
but companies have Copilot, but people don't use it.
No.
That's the reality.
When machines recruit humans, and I mean, do you think AI will ever understand human potential or just patterns from the past?
So first of all, machines are not allowed to recruit humans.
Not yet.
They're not, because that's where the bias comes in. So there was a famous case by Amazon
Okay.
when they had this AI. It was 2014 or 15, long time ago, when they were having this AI system to sort out the CVs.
Okay.
And what people who looked into it, they realized that because they started that with technical talent,
Mhm.
that more men were applying, and because the system was learning from the database, learning
Okay.
from trying to find the patterns,
Mhm.
it noticed that there were more male CVs than female CVs, and it started giving more points to men over women.
Hmm.
Technical terms were given bigger points.
Right.
For example, female, like the universities or colleges that were more like women,
Mm-hmm.
for women, were downgraded with points.
Yeah.
So, and also the EU AI Act right now, what it says that when it comes to all the decision making with the recruitment side of things,
Mm-hmm.
AI is not able to do that.
Right.
You are not allowed. There has to be a human in the loop,
Yeah.
which means that the real person needs to validate all the suggestions and
Sure.
all of the answers that AI gave you.
Sure.
So if AI is analyzing 100 CVs and says, hey, these are the 15 that you need to speak to,
Yeah.
a real person needs to validate whether another 85 are really not suitable. You're not
Oh.
allowed only to focus on those 15.
This is by the EU AI Act.
That's the EU AI Act, and this
Wow.
is really serious.
This is serious, because what's the point of it then?
Yeah.
I mean, you would go through those 100 CVs yourself and would say, okay, maybe out of these 185 or even less are not CVs I want to speak to.
Yeah.
And the rest it is. So, I mean, What are the consequences of not following the EU AI Act?
So fines.
Fines?
They are massive, and we're talking in double digits and millions.
Oh, really?
And the worst part is that, for Lithuania right now, well, it's not the worst part, but for Lithuania, we don't have the. It's now still being implemented.
Okay.
Ryšių reguliavimo tarnyba is the institution responsible
Ryšių
for.
reguliavimo tarnyba. Okay.
Yeah. So they're the ones who are responsible for it in Lithuania.
Right.
And they are basically. It's a process, just what we had with GDPR. It took a while for businesses to get their ducks in a row. It's going to be similar with here. However, the big challenge becomes that if the business is challenged by the EU AI Act, another two things are activated: GDPR,
right,
and typically anti-discrimination. So then you can be fined not by one instance, but with 3.
Oh, wow.
So it's a shit show.
It's a shit show.
So we really need to be careful,
right,
because, and this is where the education piece is very important, because also based on the EU AI Act, company, if they are implementing AI, even LLMs across the board, they need to educate their workforce so they know what could be done, what can't be done, and they need to have AI policy.
Sure.
You would be surprised how many big companies still don't have AI policy.
Right.
And that part is scary.
Yeah. 3 things that you would tell that you are telling any person that you are training or coaching about the usage of LLMs.
Be specific.
Okay.
We need to ask very good,
prompting.
very good, prompting, right? So we need to be specific. We should not leave any room for interpretation.
Okay.
Because it's gonna bring you hallucinations, right?
Yeah.
And fake facts.
Sure.
2, always check information that you're getting.
Okay.
Never trust 100%.
Okay.
So I like a rephrasing of nekaltumo presumpcija. So basically that if I have not checked the information, I believe that AI is hallucinating 100% of the time.
Yeah.
For work environment, that's going to save your ass.
Okay.
The third thing, I would say just simply, it's about having fewer tools that work than having multiple tools that, I have like 10, 15 different tools.
Yeah.
So what?
Right.
And just trying to test it across, you can take one use case and try with different tools.
Yeah, sure.
And then based on those results, you will be able to see which tool is better for you. It's not about the benchmarks that are done in the US.
No.
It's about benchmarks that work in your own, in your case.
So you basically can even take, and that's what I've been doing already multiple times, when you take a same prompt, and you prompt that same prompt into different LLMs and see what the outcome is. Yeah. And then the closer, the answer that is generated, which is closest to you, is probably also the LLM you would rather go to. Talking about failures, what's one personal failure or lesson that has reshaped the way you look at success today, besides the ones that we've been talking about already?
I had so many. I think, this is maybe going to be a fun one. So not having a website. We just spoke about that, right?
Right.
So 2 years ago when I started, when I was doing coaching, I remember I was like, finally had a website. And then I decided to switch into training, and I was like, I was going to this big conference. I was like, I don't want them to see that website. So I just killed it. It was August 2023.
Okay.
And I feel that this is still something that is not really working.
Okay.
But the crazy part is, when I open up about this to my close friends, they're like, well, wait a second. So do you have clients? I was like, well, I do have clients. How do they find you? Well, typically word of mouth.
Right.
Or like events, trainings, I do the training and someone refers me to someone else, right? And this is how it's been going. And I've been blessed to work with really, really big companies. And the crazy part is that they're like, so you don't need a website. But I was like, well, but part of me thinks that I do. So I still feel that this is a failure, but to an extent, because I'm still thinking of having a website.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of do a rough draft of it, but it's not indexed, so you only find it if you land on it.
Right. It would be. I think it would be a failure if you wouldn't have business, but because you do have business, and you are so much focused and concentrated on that you kind of, don't have enough, time or effort and focus on actually fixing the website. It's kind of half failure. But I'll take this answer.
I can maybe also add another take. So
sure.
I think that when you're working on your own, it's very easy to be comparing yourself to everyone else around you.
Yeah,
and I think that throughout this journey, what I've learned that is just finding the peace in what you do, and just saying, I earn what I earn because I work as much as I work.
Yep.
For example, this year I didn't work for 5 months. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't work 16 hours a day. I don't work 10 hours a day. I barely work 4 hours a day.
Right.
Because this is what I choose.
Yeah.
I am too old to be caring about, oh my God, they need to think this of me. I need to prove myself. I don't care.
Right.
I try to do as much as I can, in the best way possible. But I stopped caring of what people think of me. Are you successful? It's like success means a lot of things to a lot of people, and it's all different.
Sure. But let's switch the roles a bit. And when you coach others, how do you help them find clarity about what really matters beyond salary or title?
One thing is trying to show how the world has changed, because one of the examples could be that maybe 10 years ago, we would see that the career ladder only goes up. You change your titles, every certain amount of time,
right?
And your purpose is to go up.
Vertical.
Now I've seen so many incredible people who are like, hey, they're like director level, in the flat organizations, like, I don't want to do that. I want to be a developer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's 3 steps down. It's like, yeah, I want to be hands-on. I don't want to do any of that crap.
Right.
I don't want to manage people.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And I think that COVID, that we forgot about, it helped to reshape our focus of what truly matters. And people have the understanding and capacity of, I don't want to do that. And I think this is very, very important. So having that ability of not being afraid of take risks, and when that's reasonable, of course, and really listen to what is it that you want, and just see how can you get there.
If tomorrow no one cared about CVs, job titles, LinkedIn followers, public speaking, whatever it may be, how would you define success for yourself?
I feel like for me, my purpose right now in life is to make the world a little bit better.
Okay.
And to inspire others to do the same. So even if there's one person, 2 people who have shiny eyes after my talk or my training, that's the purpose to me.
Okay.
But if the digital world as we know it would go away, I think I would go back into the energy world.
Right.
So during pandemic, that was one of the things that I tapped into myself. So I became angelic Reiki master in London. And I was joking that I had 3 types of friends: musicians, because I had a music blog, headhunters, and energy healers.
Right.
So because at the end of the day, there's magic in that as well, when you can actually help the person with the energy.
Right. Okay. Well, a very strong word at the end of your phrase is energy. And Dov, I think that we've had a very good, positive energy between each other when we first met, and I'm very, very glad that you're on my podcast. From my end, I think I've tried many different ways to try and pick your brain about certain topics that are also both very interesting and hyped today.
Yeah.
But from another end, these are things that we're going to use on a regular basis, and we do already use them on a regular basis. And I think that spark that you have in you in helping others is also in me, because I would really want to put information out there, certain directions out there for people that are sitting there behind their desk, writing up CVs, sending massive CVs out there, trying to find their new challenge. And if there is something that we can show them from a different perspective, that is actually the end goal of every conversation that I have with people from different backgrounds, different industries, that give a different perspective. This is information that you would not hear in any other place. So with this, I would like to thank you for being on my show, and I hope the viewers had a really insightful takeout today after our speech and not speech, talk actually. So thanks again, and hope to see you soon again, because I'm sure we will.
It's my pleasure. And and if there's one thing that I can please maybe send a wish to everyone.
Yes.
So make sure that whatever you do, you have the job and a passion, the job that is a passion, and that Monday morning brings smile to your face.
Right.
Because that's the real kind of joy that we get.
True.
Not like, oh my God, it's Monday.
It's Monday
morning.
again. Right. Yeah. Let Monday be fun again.
Yeah.
Right. That was Beyond the Resume. A big thank you to Dov Zavadskis for reminding us that getting hired isn't about sending more CVs, it's about knowing who you are and what you bring. If you ever felt unsure about how to present yourself or where to go next, this conversation will help you see things more clearly. It's a reminder to stay intentional, stay curious, and use technology to grow, not to lose yourself in it. If this episode gave you something to think about, share it with someone who's on their own career journey. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next episode of Beyond the Resume.